So it's a beautiful Sunday morning, and I'm getting ready to go for a ride on the T150V. So this is my T150V. I rebuilt it a few years ago, about 5 years ago now, and it's fairly standard, but with a few sort of changes. It's American export that's been re-imported to UK. Like all my bikes are actually American exports that have been re-imported. Yeah, it's a lovely bike. Things to note: it's got this 3-into-1, which looks great and sounds great. The thing is, I don't know who actually made it, because it came with the bike when I bought it, and they said it was made by Paul Bryant of Viking Exhausts in New Zealand. But when I contacted him, he said, no, I don't think it's one of mine. So I'm not actually sure who did make that exhaust. I've also got a smaller back wheel on, so that's an 18-inch rim rather than a 19-inch, and that means you can have a fatter back tyre, which is great. And also it means that actually the sort of circumference is much the same, the diameter rather is much the same as a 19-inch, because the actual tyre is a bit sort of higher, and so that's nice, because the tyre is always a bit thin, I think, on these bikes. And of course, one of the main differences on my bike is electric start. So you can convert all triples can be converted to electric start, because of course luckily the T160s had electric start fitted, and so you can get conversion kits. Now what you used to do, and that's what I did on my bike, is you had to find a clutch housing from a T160 which actually the motor bolts onto, and then all the other parts you could sort out yourself. But nowadays I think they actually there's at least one firm I think that actually remanufactures the clutch housing, so you can get the clutch housing, and then there's this aftermarket starter, that's a Dave Madigan starter fitted. I think if you want to pay someone to do it, it's about £1,000, or it's probably a bit more than that now. Might be getting it. It's probably creeping up. I think it was £1,000 a few years ago, if you want to ride your bike in and ride it back out again. But it's a bit of a waiting list as well. I haven't got air filters. I'm a naughty boy. Everyone tells me, oh, you're a naughty boy, you're ruining your engine. So I've got open bell mounts. Anything else? Oh yeah, of course I've got this uprated floating front disc from Paul Fields, who unfortunately the late Paul Fields, who sadly died a few years ago, only young, and that's a fantastic piece of kit. So it's an uprated caliper and an uprated, it's a floating disc, and that works really well. Yeah, so very sad that he's no longer with us, and I think the TR30C are organising a rally in Derbyshire, in his memory this year. Unfortunately I can't go because I'm away that week, but it was a really great bloke. And about the last modification I've got is this bracket, which is from, is it Triples Unlimited? No, it's not. It's something Triples in America. They make these brackets, and I love that better than those little sort of chrome sort of clamp things. Works really well, and you can also get one that's got an aperture for an oil pressure gauge if you want to fit an oil pressure gauge. Yeah, okay, we're looking good, and so I'm getting ready. Really looking forward to this ride, because it's a beautiful day. It's only early. It's only 8 in the morning now. Hopefully the roads are pretty empty. Let's get out there and just do what it's all about, which is riding the bikes. First stop of the day, EMT rooms, jolly good. Bike going brill, going really brill. I'll tell you what, that gear change, I did the gear change over the winter and it's just really sorted it, so I'm really pleased. All good, all good. All very nice. Time for a cup of first cup of coffee, first coffee stop. Why not? So here we are at my second coffee stop of the morning, Money Ash. Loads of nice bikes around. You probably can't see it, but over there, under that tree, there's a Suzuki kettle. There's a Suzuki kettle over there. My bike has embarrassed itself a bit, I have to say, entirely my own fault, because bloody petrol taps on it. Right, I bought these ridiculously expensive petrol taps, which I was told were like the best bee's knees things, and they are. But if you have the lever but halfway between on and off, they leak like a sieve. And I just came in, turned the petrol off, and I just didn't turn it off, exactly. And so I didn't realise. I suddenly looked around, there's petrol pouring out of it. So it was a bit embarrassing, but there we go. Right, back from the ride, jolly good ride. Bike going really well, really pleased with the gearbox. It's just, I had a really notchy gearbox before, but it's just perfect now, just sneaks in, just slicks in. All going really well. Only downside is, I suppose, it clouded over a bit weather-wise, and it's of course because of pandemic and so on, it's absolutely packed out there. But get out early and you're okay. By the time I was coming back, it was bloody cars and cyclists, and of course the cars can't get round the cyclists, bloody hell. Anyway, but bike going really well, which is the main thing, and had a really nice ride. Yeah, my only embarrassment was this damn stupid petrol tap, which the guy said, oh yeah, these taps, they're the best, it cost me a fortune. right? When they're off, they're fine. When they're on, they're fine. But if you happen to just leave it, anything, look at that, it just pees petrol out. I'm going to turn it off because look at that, it's just, you know, if it's in between on and off, it just runs out the actual tap, you know, it's just bloody ridiculous. And so when I stopped, of course, there was petrol everywhere, which is not great, especially when you've got a starter motor, you know, sitting underneath the carbs. Ah, well. Oops, wrong way. Anyway, good ride all round, and just good to get out. And now time for a bit of R&R at home. Oh, time for the footy. Yeah, nearly time for the England match. So, I can unwind watching that a bit. All good.